Today, I am finally talking to you guys about something that has bothered me for a while. I don't want to come off as complaining because that's not me, and as vulnerable because I don't know how to be vulnerable. But just having conversation with my friends and family, they're like, you have to talk. You can't just be like, it's not a big deal and move on. Like, and one of the reasons why I have never complained or talked about my problems because I feel like God has blessed me in so many different aspects of my life. And talking about one little thing to me will sound like being ungrateful. So I learned not to complain, and I learned not to talk a lot about issues that are bothering me. I don't want to get emotional. I am not going to get emotional because I'm not that kind of person. Talking about it today is the hardest part for me because I've never ever thought I ever will. You're close to me, you know, I don't talk about my problems. I don't complain. I just look at it as, why stress? It's gonna fade away. Like, who cares? Move on. I don't take things literally. I see them as it's gonna pass too, and that's above me. But today I've chosen to talk about it, maybe to help other people who are going through similar thing or who have doubts. So as we all know, I am childless. I have taken care of everyone's children around me, and that is not a complaint because that's something I enjoy doing. I love being around kids. I love children. If you know me, you know that. And I still do not have my own. And my husband and I have tried for some time now, and it's just not happening. And there are so many factors, so many things that play into that. It turns out that I have uterine fibroids for some time now. My initial instinct or my initial decision was never to have any surgery and just let it play out and see, because I didn't want to go through getting cut up and going in there. And I mean, it's surgery, anything can happen. People go into surgery every day. People come out, people don't come out. And I was just scared. I didn't want to. Fast forward to 2022, I made a decision to go through with the surgery, but I was going to do the laparoscopic, which would not require them to cut me open. They were going to go internally, just insert the tool, the camera, and try to remove as many as they possibly can. I went through that in 2022, and they were able to remove a lot of the little fibroids. My surgeon did say that there was a big one she didn't want to touch because it was within the uterus, and it was so close to the tissue, so she did not touch that. She can remove that, but it had to be a myectomy, which then had me thinking for some time again, did I want to? And supposedly it was about the size of a golf ball. It was, she says, about the size of a golf ball, so it was that big. Dealing with the fibers all these years, I must say it's just painful, but I was still so scared to get them taken out. And it turns out that fibers have been so common these days. Like, I hear about it a lot. The first time I found out that I have fibroids, I did a lot of research on it, and it turns out so many women suffer from uterine fibroids. And I had conversations with my doctors, like, why is this so common? Why is this happening? The fact that they don't have an exact cause or reason as to what's causing it, like, they don't really have any research on why it's happening to people. I'm very healthy. I have no health issues. Thank God for that. I get sick when I have the flu. That's my major sickness. And that happened maybe once a year. But I'm a very healthy person. I keep up with my wellness. I keep up with my health. I keep up with my diet and everything because I want to live longer. But yeah, no one can give you a straight answer as to why people are developing fibroids. And then there's still speculations. People say birth control. Other people say like it's your diet, it's what you eat. And I have never, ever in my life taken any sort of birth control substances. Never. I have never. The only birth control substance I've ever used was condoms. But I've never ever taken any birth control substances in my life. So that's completely ruled out for me. I can speak for everyone else, but what are they doing about fibroids? It has become a big deal. It has become popular. Like everyone's having it. And everyone's so scared and skeptical. They don't want to do surgery. Some people want to do the surgery and so forth. Like I said, I don't talk about my problems and my issues to people, but this is something that has been bothering me because it's affecting my chance of giving birth. So back to not removing that big fibroids, I'm still seeing the same doctor. We've been going over, and she has convinced me that we should remove the fibroids. You have to remove the fibroids. She said that's your problem because you have more now, and they're all about the size of a golf ball in your uterus. And the only way to do it, to get them out, is when they have to cut you open to go in there to remove the fibers from the uterus and reserve your uterus. That was the only way we could do it. So I finally this year agreed to go for the surgery. Which, by the way, anyone who's going through that surgery, talk to your friends, talk to your family, talk to your loved ones, talk to people around you about it. Don't just keep it private. Especially if it's your first time going under a major surgery like that. I didn't tell a lot of people about it. My family knew about it, and that's it. And then one of my friends, knew about it. But 2 months leading up to the surgery, I was going crazy. The stress, the anxiety, the fear of not waking up from surgery. So many things were running through my mind to the point that I almost canceled multiple times. I was scared to death. I was so scared. I didn't want to go. I was stressing. No one knew what was behind my smiles, my happiness, my physical appearance. But for 2 consecutive months, I was walking around tense and scared to death. I was stressed. So then I started reading more about the surgery, following bloggers and other people that have been through the surgery, and just listening to their stories, and to kind of help me gain strength. And big thanks to my husband, who just made it seem like it was a walk in the park for me. Because every time I will be scared and nervous and breaking down, he said, "Oh, you're gonna go in there 20 minutes and be out. You're fine." Like he just made it seem like it was not that big of a deal. And to be honest with you, even though I know that that wasn't the case, it helped me. It helped me because he did not stress with me. He helped me conquer my fear, and I appreciate him for that. Fast forward to the surgery month. Had my visit with my doctor, my consultation visit. We talked about it. She went over the entire process with me. We emphasize, and I mean emphasize with all the quotations in the word. Whatever it is, save my uterus. I do not, I do not want my uterus damaged or pulled. And she got that clear. She got that message clearly. Now, mind you, this is the same doctor that I've been dealing with for years. So she did all my scans, did all my x-rays, so she knows what she's working with. And besides, again, like I said, she did my first surgery. Fast forward to surgery date, got in there. Oh, one thing she said to me during the consultation, she said, I just want you to know, But it sounds to me like she was hell bent on taking out my uterus because she knew the severity of my fibroids. So I think her focus was on removing my uterus. But I made it 100% clear, whatever the case is, I want my uterus kept. Sorry guys, I had to take that phone call. It was about the issues that we're discussing right now, so I had to take that call. And I had another call, but that was a business call, so sorry about that. Anyway, so let's get back to the conversation. I don't even know where we stopped. But anyway, leading up to the surgery, like I said, I had my consultation with her and we emphasized on preserving my uterus and we don't want it removed. We don't want any damage or whatsoever to it because I still have the hope of having a child. Now, if you've known me from way back, my mental state of mind, I was going to have 4 children. I wanted to have 4 children. I always wanted to have 4 children. So it was, for me, it was important. It was like, that's what I wanted because I want a lot of kids because I love children. So I always wanted to have at least 4 children too. She agreed. She said, no problem. And she did tell me. And then she said to me, if it's the case where you're bleeding a lot and I can't stop the bleeding, I'm going to have to take out your uterus to save your life. So I'm like, is that the only way to save my life? Because can you not just stop the surgery then if I'm bleeding a lot? She said the only way to stop it would be to remove the uterus. And that would be the one way to save your life. So from then and there, I knew she was up to something, but it still didn't click because I've worked with her for so long and I trusted her. So I figure she knows what she's talking about. I said, well, if it's life and death, then by all means, remove it because I don't want to die. But if it has nothing to do with life and death, I want my uterus preserved. She said, no problem. We can do that. So I signed that disclosure. But still leading up to the surgery, I was still stressed. I was still afraid. I was still questioning it. I was still not with it. But anyway, day of the surgery, I woke up that morning and almost called to cancel. I almost called to cancel because I've prayed about this. I've taken this to church with me. I was just so scared. And then I go back to other people's stories I've heard. They went through it and they were able to have kids and this person didn't have problem. Of course, maybe there were 1 or 2% of people who had problem and they had to do hysterectomy. And because of that, I personally was just afraid of surgery, period. So day of the surgery, went there, got my preparation done, did everything, and went into surgery. When I woke up, the nurse was in the room with me and my husband was there and she said, you're done. I'm like, I'm done. I'm like, did she save my uterus? She said, yes. And then I put my thumbs up and that was it. I was out again. Then later on, the doctor came in to talk to me when I actually already was aware and woke up. She said, oh, Teresa, I'm so sorry. We went in and couldn't remove any of the fibroids. My eyes, like, what? And my husband sitting there, he said, well, what do you mean? She said, it was a lot of them and they were they were all stuck to the tissue of the uterus. There's no way I could have removed them without pulling your uterus. So I did not do the surgery. I just stitched you back up and I'm sorry. I'm like, what? You guys, 2 months of stress, anxiety, and this is what I get? You knew what you were working with. I've worked with you through this whole process. You diagnosed me of this. You've been doing my scan and everything, and this is what I get. I just said to her, thank you. But that moment in time, I forgot about the incisions. I forgot about anything I've ever went through. I was just mentally out. Like mentally, I was out of it because physically, I wasn't even like in any kind of pain. I didn't like feel anyway. I was just mentally drained at this point. And it played on me mentally because now I'm emotional. Now I'm crying internally because I don't cry, but my mind is running all over the place. What did she do? Did she just do this to convince me that she tried? Or was this just a gimmick to get insurance money? What is this? Like all kinds of things run into my mind. She's the one I've been working with. Why didn't she convince me or tell me from the beginning what the reality is? So then put me through these 2 months of stress, then this 1 day of trauma, and now I have this mental issue to deal with for the next couple of days until I can get over it and snap out of it. This is why I said I wasn't going to cry, because that part, the whole process was emotional and scary. But that part was the one time I really sat by myself and cried. Like, why did I go through all of this? You do this surgery all the time. You know what you do all the time. Why are you telling me after you've cut me open? After, and I'm losing time from work because I have to deal with this and all that. It's trying to recover, not only from my incisions, but just mentally. I don't know how to, let something bother me. So, but this really did bother me. So, yeah, so I've been home recovering. Yeah, I just wanted to share this with you guys. This surgery did not happen. I'm still walking around with golf ball size fibers in my uterus. And I've been referred to a doctor in another city that deals with severe case of that. Which I got a phone call actually when I was making this video that they want to see me next month so we can discuss what other options there could be for me. And for her, it was more like, just give it up. You're in your 40s. You're not gonna have kids. And for me, it's like I'm never ruling that out. I could be in my 30s, in my 60s. I'm never ruling having kids out, because if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. I've never done anything to jeopardize my chances of having kids. Unless God didn't have kids in my destiny or in my future, then I'm okay with that. But yeah, so that's the situation I find myself in. I'm going to do another video for you guys, just telling you how I prepared for my surgery and some things that I did after the surgery to help me carry on. But I thank you guys for listening. And this is the first time I think I've ever been this vulnerable to talk about my personal life. And believe me, I've cried behind closed doors already. So don't think I didn't. I cried. I did all of that. I got that out of my system. I'm back on my feet. I'm ready to go. I've done a couple of unboxing videos for us. I've spent time with the family and stuff. If I say mentally it doesn't bother me, I will be lying to you, because mentally it does, for how much I treat other people's children and how much I love them. I'm everyone's Auntie T, but I'm never going to be someone's mom. Just that thought bothers me. So, and if no one's going to call me mom, I'm okay with that. But it was just not what I thought my life would be. So I'm going to go see this specialist and find out what they have to do or what they can do and how we can move forward. If I'm going to have kids, amen. I will appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. You're greatly appreciated. Bye. And by the way, I'm okay. So don't worry about me. I'm fine.